Well, I made it. This is my number one extended thoughts of my top 10 changes I want to see in Disney Infinity 3.0, the game. If you have not seen the overview video, click this link here. It'll take you to that. But this is just my extended thoughts on my number one. Well, my number one is True Platform. But before I get there, I just want to say it has been a long process recording all 10 of these extended thought videos. I'm sorry it's taken so long. I've only got another 10 to go, but I'm going to try and get those out real quick for you. But let's get on with True Platform. This is absolutely my number one want for Disney Infinity, the game, is to have a unified platform. 2.0 is ridiculous. We've got the console version. We've got, now I'm not even talking about, let's forget the fact that we've got the different power variant between the Wii U, PS3, Xbox 360 and the next gen PS4 and Xbox One. I'm not talking about that because that's pretty good. It's pretty much the same game except obviously slightly less in the graphics and the toy boxes can't be as big. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is the differences between console, PC, iPad. They're the main platforms, I think. Oh, and of course we've got Vita and stuff, but let's just focus on those main three. PC, iPad, console. It is annoying. It is annoying that on PC and iPad we have digital options. There are digital only characters on iOS. There are digital only characters on PC, like glow in the dark Buzz. iOS and PC, we can buy whatever power disc we want in digital form, and it's obviously a lot cheaper to do so, and all the functionalities there, but they're not crossing over to the console. So I could effectively spend whatever it is, $40, $50 on buying all the power discs on the PC platform, and that is not recognized on my console. That is ridiculous. Like, if and vice versa, if I've got all the power discs on the console, they're not carried over to the PC or iPad version currently. So that is ridiculous. So I'm just asking for a consistency, really. That's the first part of it. So that no matter where I'm buying power discs, no matter where I'm doing with my characters, it perfectly transcends to no matter what platform I'm using. Secondly, what's up with it being free on PC and iOS? If it's free on PC and iOS, make it free on the console. Doesn't that make sense? We're already spending hundreds of dollars on figures and hundreds of dollars on power discs, so make it free on the console. I'll pay you money for the play sets. I'm just saying, give me what you're giving away for free on PC and iOS, give it to me for free on console. It only seems fair. So that's the first level of consistency, is I feel like it should be, as best as possible, the same game with the same features no matter where you're playing it. Obviously, there is some power restrictions and input restrictions across the board. There's going to be some slight changes, but when it comes to the things we're buying and using, I see no reason why it shouldn't be consistent price and capabilities. That's number one. The other side of it being a true platform is what I mean is that currently, and we've only got 2 games to go with by the moment, but currently we're going on an annual release of Disney Infinity. So we had Disney Infinity 1.0, roughly a year later we had Disney Infinity 2.0, and all signs point to relatively soon having a Disney Infinity 3.0 announced. That is how games get released. That, in my opinion, is not a platform. A platform to me is something that changes and upgrades and updates over time, but it's not necessarily an annual disc-based release. If we can get rid of that annual disc-based release system, now I'm not saying we don't have discs. I'm saying, in my mindset, it would work. We have 1.0, or let's just start with 3.0 because we're talking 3.0. You release the main disc, which gives you a ton of content right off the bat. It gives you the bulk of it. It then is upgraded, updated over time, new play sets, new characters being added, new power discs added over a period of time till it gets such a point where it becomes like kind of a Game of the Year edition type scenario where they release a new disc that says, here's Disney Infinity 3.0 version whatever, 3.5 or something, that includes all the updates and all the DLC and all the rollouts that happened over the last year into this new version of the disc. So if you're someone that doesn't have the internet, then you're getting the new content that way. Disney have already shown us that they're not afraid to do that. I mean, the Tron figures are DLC only. The game was broken without updates. So if you don't have the internet, your version of Disney Infinity 2.0 Toy Box is broken. Okay, so I think we just need to throw out the idea that, yes, I understand not everyone has high-end internet and stuff like that, but it's just the world we live in. Again, I'm not saying ignore them completely, but we can release discs down the track that have all that content rolled up into the disc. But why punish the vast majority of us who are on the web, the ones that are really getting the most out of the game by utilizing the toy box and so on? I don't see why we should have to wait for new characters when they can patch them in. Same as new power discs. Patch it all in, make it updatable. And the other advantage is when you've got that kind of a situation, we can have more fun stuff like holiday releases. They could release Christmas themed things and Halloween stuff to decorate your Hall of Heroes as Halloween, and all these really cool things that would add to the game and make the lifespan of the game even longer because of this slow drip feed of new content. And most importantly, the idea of having to be able to bring out play sets more timely. So as a new film is announced, they could be working on the playset. For instance, Inside Out, for instance. Like, now that that's being announced, I'd love to see a big playset be built for that, and they could be working towards releasing that as DLC. So that's what I mean by a true platform. It's a game that's released and is updated regularly rather than the tentpole releases on an annual or biannual release schedule. I think the fans would like that better. We really get excited about new figures, but it's kind of frustrating when you know all the figures at the start of sort of the release schedule, or most of them, and it's just that waiting game for when they're going to release. It'd be so much more exciting if you never knew when there was going to be a character announcement around the corner or a new power disc announcement. Anyway, that's my thoughts about it, but the key things are regular releases coming out that we don't know how to get patched in, and the fact that it's a unified system. So let's not have digital based on one and not on the other. If we're going to go a digital option, let's put it as an option for console as well. So that's my thoughts. Let me know in the comments what you think of this idea, what you would define a platform is, because that's what it's being called. What would you define a platform is, or are you someone that would likes the idea of just having to wait for a disc each year? Let me know in the comments. We'll discuss it in a future episode of the Inside Infinity podcast. And thank you for sticking with me for the whole top 10 changes I want to see for the game. And I can now start working on the top 10 changes, extended thoughts for the toy box. So I'll see you on those ones.